Tonight, somewhere in a forest a few hundred miles from any city, a deer lifts its head. It hears two sounds in the dark. One is a lion's low growl, the other is a person, just talking quietly to a friend. The deer bolts. But here's the strange part, it doesn't run from the lion. It runs from the voice. For most of human history, we assumed animals feared the biggest teeth, the sharpest claws, the fastest legs. But researchers have found something almost backwards. Many wild animals are more afraid of us than of the actual apex predators sharing their habitat. In the next few minutes, you'll learn why animals fear the human voice more than a lion's roar, why some animals have never learned to fear us at all, and what all of this quietly says about the fear you carry around in your own body every day. In October 2023, ecologist Liana Zanette and her team, working out of Western University in Canada, ran an experiment in South Africa's Greater Kruger region. They set up hidden speakers near watering holes and played two kinds of recordings to wildlife, lions snarling and hunting, and humans simply speaking in calm, ordinary voices. Across dozens of species, from elephants to leopards to antelope, the animals fled the human voices far more often and far faster than they fled the lions. Zanette called humans the super predator, a species so associated with danger that its voice alone triggers panic deeper than the sound of an actual carnivore. It's a strange kind of reputation to have earned. But reputation isn't the same as understanding exactly why we deserve it. That answer came a few years earlier, in 2015, when biologist Chris Darimont published research in the journal Science comparing how humans hunt compared to every other predator on Earth. Lions, wolves, and orcas overwhelmingly target the young, the old, or the weak, animals that are easier to catch and less costly to the group's survival. Humans do the opposite. We hunt the healthy, reproductively mature adults, the biggest fish, the largest antlered deer, the strongest bull. Darimont's data showed humans killing prey populations at rates many times higher than natural predators, and doing it in a way no evolutionary program had ever prepared these animals for. It's not just that we're dangerous. It's that we're dangerous in an unnatural pattern, one nature never had time to build a defense against. And yet, that fear isn't automatic. It has to be learned, or relearned, generation after generation. On islands far from human contact, the Galapagos, parts of Antarctica, animals show almost no fear of people at all. Charles Darwin himself noted this in the 1830s, describing birds on the Galapagos that let him walk within a few feet, sometimes close enough to push them aside with the barrel of his gun. They had simply never needed to learn that a human was a threat. But introduce a predator, even briefly, and the shift is fast. In studies of island species reintroduced to predation, fear responses can reappear within just a handful of generations, sometimes faster than biologists expect. Nobody trained these animals individually. Nobody told them to do this. The population just did it, as if some ancient warning system had been sitting dormant inside them the whole time, waiting to be switched back on. Which brings us to the part that doesn't quite add up. Physically, humans are not impressive predators. Our bite force is a fraction of a chimpanzee's. Our grip strength, our speed, our raw physical power, all mediocre, at best, compared to almost anything we're afraid of ourselves. A deer can outrun us. A chimp can overpower us. So why does the forest treat a soft, slow, weaponless voice as the most dangerous sound in the ecosystem? The answer isn't in our bodies. It's in what we carry and how we cooperate. Spears, arrows, later rifles, and the coordinated, patient, almost eerie behavior of a species that plans hunts days in advance instead of relying on muscle in the moment. Animals don't fear our strength. They fear our unpredictability, our tools, and our reach, the fact that danger can arrive from 100 yards away, from a direction they can't smell or see. So what if the thing you've quietly worried about, that you're not physically strong, not fast, not naturally tough, isn't actually a weakness in the way you think it is? What if that feeling is just an old, outdated way of measuring what strength was ever supposed to mean for a species that was never built to win with muscle in the first place? We survived not because we were the strongest animal in the room, but because we were the most unpredictable, the most cooperative, the most willing to plan 3 steps ahead of the moment we were standing in. That instinct didn't disappear. It's still the thing carrying you through your hardest days, even when your body feels like the weakest part of the equation. So, do wild animals think humans are weak? No. They've learned, sometimes without ever meeting one of us directly, that we are something closer to inevitable. They fear the human voice more than a lion's roar, not because of what our bodies can do, but because of what our minds have shown, again and again, that they're willing to plan. Some animals never learn that fear at all, until the day they do, and then it spreads through a population like a memory nobody had to teach. And maybe that's the quiet, uncomfortable truth sitting underneath all of it. The most feared predator in the history of this planet built its entire reputation without ever needing to be the strongest thing in the room.